Hello and welcome to Journal and Jazz, February. Happy February, everybody. Happy Lunar New Year. January has been a long month, but here we are. It's February and the month of love. So, as you can tell, this Journal and Jazz is going to be a little bit different. It's late at night. I'm in my pajamas. I don't have any makeup whatsoever, and so this will be a very relaxed video. I got inspired by a few people to do a reflection on our January journals. So we'll be looking back at those pages together, looking at the memories, and hopefully this would inspire you to look back at your own January spreads right before we head down to February. So, you're kind of used to seeing me in a little square, but here we are in wide format. But yeah, let's begin. So, just a little bit of background. This year, I have 3 journals. Well, technically one's a planner and the other 2 are journals. And before we look back at those pages, I'm just going to give a brief description of how I use each journal and the journal purpose. So I'll bring this one up first. This is a journal that I keep with me, and I got this at the New York Public Library gift shop, and I use this journal as a diary. All of my thoughts, anything I need to get off my chest, or anything that kind of bothers me, I keep it in this little journal. I also keep manifestations in this journal as well, and hopefully I can start on prompts, but this is your traditional journal. I don't decorate this in any way. It's straight pen to paper, line paper. But I keep this with me because sometimes I just need a place for my thoughts where I don't really have to decorate it or think about visuals. It's just thoughts on plain paper. And so I have this journal with me this year. The second journal is the journal that you're most familiar with, and this is my visual journal. This is where my creative expression comes at full force within these pages. I use this journal as creative expression, but it's also for me to keep a tangible memory alive. And what I mean by that is I keep everything in here. I keep Polaroids, I keep stickers, receipts, and I create art using all of those paper mementos of everyday life. And that's the journal spreads that we create here together. Tangible memories are being made here. And so can't wait to go back and look at these pages together. And our third is not a journal, but a planner. This is my Hobonichi cousin, and this is the 1-year one. A little background about Hobonichi planners is that this brand makes planners for long time use. This one's 1 year, but I've seen planners on their site that would be used for 5 years or even longer. But this is my cousin, my Hobonichi cousin, that is meant for 1 year, and I can proudly say that I've been consistently using this planner all month long, and it's February now and I'm still using it, so hooray for consistency. But yeah, I consider this as the third journal, but it's really a planner, and yeah, can't wait to look at this one together. Now, before we begin, just want to say thank you for tuning in, and thank you so much for your support. Thank you for always tuning in to Journal and Jazz, and also thank you to everybody on Journal and Jazz Substack as well. All these kind words and positivity makes me want to always have the heart to create and create. So yeah, I just wanted to say that before we begin. Now let's go look through our spreads together. So okay, so So I wanted to mention real quick that during my last Journal and Jazz Chatty, I looked back at the footage, and the way that I positioned the camera made it very difficult to see what was going on. I thought it would be a great idea to have the camera zoom in closer, but I ended up having my journal, basically you can't really see what's going on. And so hopefully I'm back to the original layout where the camera is a bit far away. So I wanted to apologize for that. Hopefully this is a bit better. So the very first journal that I wanted to show is the New York Public Library Journal. And so I didn't write as much as I'd like to. I'm not going to show the pages for privacy, but I think I got it right about this far. And so I wouldn't write in this journal every day. I would only write in this journal when it's necessary. This is a journal where consistency is not always the goal. It's when I feel ready to write in this, that's when I would pick this up. But regardless, I bring this with me everywhere because I never know when I might need it. So this is my safe space, and I bring this with me. Sorry, not as exciting, but let's move on to my visual journal. So here it is. I added quite a few more charms here. I added this egg that I've had for the longest time. The meaning behind these charms, there is no meaning. I have a fondness for little food charms. This little charm here I got in San Francisco at a gachapon, and I added this Kura Sushi, the revolving sushi bar. They normally have collaborations, but I think this is from their own prize. So if you finish 15 plates, this is the reward that you get, or I mean, this is the prize that you get. This is the front page of my journal. First spread, this was January 1st. I wanted to use my camera more, so I bought more Polaroid film here. The very first day, I went to my favorite Japanese restaurant here in Vegas, hence the chopstick wrapper, and very beautiful, colorful spread. Sometimes when you look through your older spreads, you don't have much to say. You let the visuals speak for the page. So a lot of expression here. I knew that 2025 for me was the year of optimism and happiness, and so I added in a lot of bright colors and very bright stickers, but not bad for our very first spread. Now I'm gonna go read what I wrote here because I actually don't remember. It's easy to be so... I can't really read what I wrote. It's easy to be so that we say, I don't want to deal with it. This is regarding a piece I read in the New Yorker in the beginning of the year. I think I talked about this when we were making the spread. That piece resonated with me a lot, and so I wanted to remember that, and I wrote a little bit about it here. So let's move on to the next spread. I do hope that the camera is picking this up. My fear is that none of this is being shown, but through editing I'll make sure that this is a little bit more zoomed in. But from the disaster of the last setup, I wanted to make sure this is a little bit perfect, so I hope you can see this. For second spread, the photo was taken on January 3rd, 2025. I think this was in my risotto pasta. I think this was the very first risotto pasta. I've had risotto before, but a little bit of In-N-Out wrappers here. I think this was the, not wrappers, I think this was the sugar packets that came in In-N-Out, and I was excited about adding these in because it was my first In-N-Out of 2025. Lots of little bit of writing. Last night we went for pasta at my favorite Japanese pasta place, and I really enjoyed the pace of the new year so far. It's only the beginning, and I hope the year treats me very well. A lot of bright motivation, encouraging words for myself. I think that I wanted to keep that motivation going, and so I think that's why I wrote these little sentences here, is because I knew that I would need that. Or I think my past self, and this is just a month ago, I think my past self knew I needed these encouraging words. So it says, do what makes you happy. About more film here. These are wrappers, those mint chocolates that I used here, but I do like the spread a lot. It's colorful. This was a gift from my bestie Alma. They gave me this Care Bear sticker at a cafe that we met up at, and I love it. It's the brown Care Bear. So brown is my favorite color. Oh, forgot I have this camera here too. Let's move on to the next page. So I think that my creativity was off the roof this night. I think during this day, we had, my friends and I, we had Korean barbecue, and we also went to the public library. And we went to the library that was a bit far from us in distance. But I remember for lunch, dinner was Korean barbecue, but for lunch, we ate at this Jewish diner that reminded me a lot of the diners in New York. It was called Bagel Cafe. So if you're from Vegas, please check out Bagel Cafe. It truly feels like New York. Put that little poster up, and I made a little foldable here. Actually, when it comes to foldables, at the New York Public Library, there was an artist, and I forgot who it was. It was at the exhibit at the library, and there was a foldable, and I think it was an artist who created art with a foldable. It was a journal, but in a foldable page, and so eventually I'd like to do that, where I would make a spread through a long foldable. I'm not sure how I'll do that or when I'll do that, but this reminded me of that. It's a baby foldable, but I don't know. I usually love little interactive features like this in my journals. But yeah, sorry, I talked about that way too long. But I also bought one of these clear sleeves at Daiso that holds more photos. So if I don't have any room, I usually make a little pocket. You can use any pocket. I just love these clear pockets. But yeah, I love this spread a lot. It's very colorful, lots of reds, and I think by far this is my favorite spread in this journal. This washi tape right here, I bought this in LA I think 2 years ago. Very expensive washi tape, but I can see why. It's great that it's used in accents, so I wouldn't put a whole page of this washi tape, but it made sense to add it here because of the red colors. And this washi tape, it's, I don't know if you can tell, but it's movie themed. I love the mini Polaroid camera. It's Polaroid Go. I love it so much. I love it way more than the Fujifilm Instax, probably because I love square orientation. I was never a fan of the that long rectangle size. I think that the square format suits instant pictures way better. But yeah, this is that page. Probably one of my favorite spreads. I wrote, "Real friends will always stay. Please remember that." This was in January 4th, 2025. I think this spread, I like it a lot. In the beginning of January, I went to Diptyque and they had these little cards that were meant to be used in testing the fragrance, and all of these cards have beautiful artwork, and I sprayed some fragrance, and so that's why my journal smells really good. This is the Fleur de Peau fragrance, but this is a very beautiful spread. I had this little mini calendar, but it's from 2022. So what I did was cut up the year so I can paste it. I suppose what I was trying to say here is that the passage of time is quickly, how fast the days go by really fast. So at this point, we're at January 7. I took this photo booth picture here. One thing I love doing is going to the photo booth every beginning of the month and pasting it in my journal. I want to do that for February, which is why I left a little bit of space on my February spread here. Yeah, not much to say about the spread. I love the colors, and it's a very beautiful spread. I love the bear stickers that I made here. I'm acting as if like I completely forgot I completely forgot me making this, but I don't have much to say other than I really like this spread a lot. Let's move on to the next page right here. This was Sydney's birthday, and so I added in a little bit more of those Diptyque cards. And yeah, the day before, I surprised Sydney with a cake, which is this photo right here, and a new teddy bear whose name is Bartholomew, which is why I added a lot of teddy bear stickers here, because I surprised him with a giant teddy bear. His name is Bartholomew. So this is a birthday spread. So let's move on. This was January 10th, but a lot of these pictures were from January 9th. So yesterday, I pasted the last showgirl ticket here. It's kind of sad that we're losing physical tickets now because everything is through our phones now. We're losing that art of physical tickets. And so I really hold on to these physical tickets, even though they're made in flimsy paper. I still love physical tickets. I would go to theaters that would give out physical tickets. And so that's where that's at. I also bought some new tea right here. I think that's that very first day I drank that tea. This was January 10th. The day I went to buy Bartholomew, I did not eat that day, and so I remember that afternoon I was hungry and exhausted trying to hunt this bear down, that I saw an Auntie Anne's, and I bought my pretzel and cheese dip, and I never ate a pretzel so fast in my life. But there's that pretzel wrapper. So about this. Of course, this was a time where I was going to cafes a lot. During that first 2 weeks of January, I saved the napkin from the cafe, and I was craving oyster Rockefeller, and so I went to one of my favorite seafood places, and we ordered this. Cindy and I ordered their oyster Rockefeller, and it was very good, but it didn't taste like oysters Rockefeller. But nonetheless, I added this picture in here. I printed this with my Fujifilm instant camera. I use that camera as a mini printer, and so I printed this picture out. And what I wrote here is, "Life will change for the better. My life will begin." I need these little reminders a lot when I think about it, especially when times are becoming a little bit more difficult for me. Writing these down and seeing these little encouragement and motivation from my past self. So it's great that it's great that I can reread these again. Next spread. This is my cutesy spread because I added in a lot of pink. I took some pants in at the tailor, and this was attached to the pants I got back. I printed this latte out here because 2025 I'm ordering a lot of flat whites. I love flat white. I just love that it's not too sweet, and so I printed this one out because it has my name, and the latte art was very, very pretty, and the barista was very nice, and so I wanted to remember that moment of kindness, and so I printed this photo out here. Next spread. I think this is my second favorite spread. Don't like that the stickers are coming out here. I love this because it shows me a lot of life during this time. I think this is mid-January now. I wrote Eyes Without a Face because it's Billy Idol. The songs that we listen to now can change a month from now. Funny thing is that it's February and I'm still listening to the song. This was a Jollibee wrapper, my first Jollibee of 2025. Lots of stickers right here. Of course, it's the Hawaii heart stickers. I added so much of this. I don't remember where this receipt is from, actually. Hummus. Oh, this was from Albertsons. I added the bike here because I've been walking a lot this January. Been getting 10,000 steps, and I think a bike reminded me of that. And so I added that bike sticker right here. I love the spread so much because it not only does it show my personality, but it really shows everything that I was going through during this time. I was walking a lot. I was listening to the same song over and over again, and I saved my tea wrapper. I saved Sydney's iced tea wrapper. It brings me back to that time. So, the spread I made recently, I think this was the last journal in jazz. Chatty. Hopefully you can see it now that it's not cut out, but this little coaster thing was from a diner I would visit a lot. And they use these paper coasters for their drinks, and I try to save as many as I can every visit. What I love about this diner is that they use vintage cups or vintage mugs for their coffee, and so it's always a surprise. It's always surprising to see which mug I would get. Sometimes I hope for a really good mug, a classic vintage mug, but most of the time, like I would say 80% of the time, I would get mugs with Ray Dunn font written on it that says like coffee first, but I don't know, it makes the experience much more fun. But that's where this came from. For me, I think I love the foldable. I love the little flippy. It's kind of like the foldable that I made in the Maltese Falcon, but I love this spread. I love the green gingham. I love everything about this spread. It makes me feel warm. A lot of teddy bear stickers. If anything, this reminds me that I need to buy more stickers because I love these teddy bear stickers, but I kind of want to add a little bit more. So let's move on to the next spread. This one's cute. So my friend and I, we had a journal workshop, and so before the workshop day, we got together and we went to the library again. And so this Polaroid is from that day. Right here, it's that coaster again from the diner. This time I purposely spilled coffee. I don't know if it smells like coffee. Okay, it doesn't smell like coffee, but I cut up a little bit of that coaster with that coffee stain in. A little bit chaotic, but with my spreads, it's not about perfection. It's not about perfectionism. It's not about organization. It's about the feeling and the heart of each spread. And so, even though it's looking a little chaotic, I like it regardless. Next spread is the day of the workshop. I printed this photo out. However, I do have a lot of Polaroids from this day, actual Polaroids taken of this day. This is just a printout from my Fujifilm camera. We went to a cafe right after. We played one of those trivia card games, and so to keep track of everyone's score, I took their business card and I marked score using this, and I kept the card for the memory. So yeah, so this little sticker here is came from my last page. As we move forward to February, I wanted to write more words of encouragement for myself, because towards the end of January, it was a bit tough for me. So I wrote words that I knew that I would need following February, and so didn't want to add any decorations or stickers whatsoever. I just wanted myself and words of encouragement, and I think it's a reoccurring theme of my journal to have these spreads in the middle of all of the decoration. It keeps me in tune, and I love the simplicity of it all. So this brings us to February. This is how I'm starting February off. I'm excited for the weekend because I will be going to the photo booth again, and I will be taking a picture that I'll add on my February page right here. I kept this page clear for anything I'd like to add. I don't know what I want to add just yet. Maybe a little bit of a list of my February goals. I'll add it right here. And yeah, added pink gingham because it is February. So that's my journal overview so far. My favorite thing about journals, especially as we're finishing a journal, is the thickness of the page, of the pages. And so I love doing this and seeing all of the pages. And one of the things I would do when I finish a journal is to take twine and tie it up and keep it in a box of my other journals and basically start my next one. And so that's my visual journal overview. Hope you like that. Yeah, there's that. So last but not least, this is my planner. All right, my Hobonichi planner, finally showing it off. Let's open the page in the left side. So because I bring this planner with me everywhere, anything that I want to add on my visual journal, I keep it in these pockets. And so receipts, wrappers, I have a place for them, and it's in this pocket. And so when it's finally time for me to journal, I have everything in this pocket. Planner decked out with stickers here. Let's move on to this page. So I would take a Polaroid picture for each day of the month. I'm not that strict with myself if I miss a day, because I used to do that. I did that last year. I tried to do the whole let's take a picture each day, and I would take pictures that were a bit meaningless only because I needed to keep my streak going. But I would only take a picture when the moment was right, and I don't care too much about streak if I miss a day or whatnot. So yeah, that's basically this. I would take this part of my planner just to paste these Polaroid photos in. Same thing, follow it in the back. I needed more space, so I added those photos in the back too. I have a postcard of the Chrysler Building because the Chrysler Building is one of my most favorite buildings in the world. And so I have that as a little bit of a motivation. So actual calendar part of the planner I did use. I wrote down all of the dates that were very important. So car payments. I wrote down any birthdays that I want to remember. I would also go back and fill in the days that passed so I remember what happened that day. And so all of January I did write down everything. I also wrote down any things I need to buy, so I wrote that here. And yeah, I would say I use this spread a lot. Yeah, I did. I'm gonna show you one of my most favorite pages of this planner, and it's my monthly collage. So anything that doesn't make it into my visual journal, I keep it here. This is all of these paper momentums of my month. Did I say year? I think I said year. Anyways, this is my January spread as a collage. And so my dry cleaner tags, I have my Jollibee wrapper, my Dunkin', chopstick wrappers. When I bought Zinnia flowers, I cut up a little bit of the plastic from the bouquet. I love this spread so much because it stops the month from slipping away. So I remember the days. I remember what I felt when I pasted these. So yeah, it's wonderful. But this page right here, I really love. It's the 365 days checkoff sheet. As you can see, tomorrow we're going to be hitting our 35th day of the year. And yeah, this gives me an incentive to use this planner each day because I love filling in those little bubbles of each day. And also, with every 10 days, you get a diamond. And then with every 100 days, you get a star. And so I want to keep filling those out so I kind of keep track of the year. And yeah, that is my planner. Look, it's pretty overloaded here. One thing I wanted to show before we're done is I think I mentioned this before, but I watercolor food that I would eat for fun. I love food illustrations and I love food paintings, and I thought, why not try it for myself? I started this hobby beginning of last year, and it would be on and off. Sometimes I would paint a lot and other times I would neglect the hobby, but this year we're bringing it back, and so I painted a crepe cake. That's January. Thank you so much for tuning in. I do hope this inspires you to reflect on the month, and if there's anything you'd love to add in for February or anything you'd like to change, it's a wonderful feeling to go back. This was just a relaxed video I wanted to make, and oh shoot, I should have been looking at the camera right here. Look how thick this is. I'm gonna say it again. Thank you for coming. Thank you for tagging along and going through my January pages. I hope this inspires you. I hope this inspires you to take a look at your own January journal and reflect on it. Anything that you'd love to add in February or anything you'd love to change from January and moving forward to February. I hope this inspires you, and thank you so much for coming with me in this video. It's a very chill video, but I hope you enjoyed it. And yeah, thank you for tuning in. I will see you for the next Journal and Jazz. Bye bye.